How to fix secure boot error in eSports FC 26. Welcome back to Teknobalta. If you are getting blocked from launching EA Sports FC 26 due to the dreaded secure boot failure error, our engineering team has analyzed the root causes and developed a comprehensive troubleshooting framework. EA Anti-Cheat strictly enforces full secure boot state compliance alongside trusted UEFI driver signatures on Windows systems, meaning simple toggles are often insufficient. In this deep dive guide, we will walk you through 16 verified, step-by-step technical fixes to permanently resolve this issue and get you back on the pitch. First, let us examine the fundamental requirement: verifying your system partition table and boot environment mode. Teknobalta's analysis revealed that secure boot cannot function under legacy BIOS or master boot record (MBR) partition structures. Your OS drive must be running GUID Partition Table (GPT) in full UEFI mode. Open system information by typing msinfo32 in the Windows search bar and verify that BIOS mode displays UEFI and secure boot state is listed as on. If your system is currently installed on MBR, you must convert your disk using the native MBR2 GPT/convert/. Allow full OS command via an elevated command prompt before proceeding. Our second fix focuses on accessing your motherboard BIOS/UEFI firmware settings to manually enable secure boot. System restart is required while spamming your dedicated motherboard entry key, typically delete, F2, F11, or F12 depending on your vendor. Once inside the BIOS interface, navigate to the Security, Boot, or Authentication tab to locate the Secure Boot configuration menu. Toggle the Secure Boot state from disabled to enabled, save changes, and exit to reboot into Windows. In many cases during our testing, enabling Secure Boot alone failed because the platform factory keys were not initialized. If Secure Boot shows as enabled in BIOS, but remains off inside Windows system information, you must reset the factory keys inside the BIOS security menu. Locate the options labeled Reset to Factory Keys, Restore Factory Keys, or Install Default Secure Boot Keys. Execute the restore and save your BIOS settings. Fourth, motherboard manufacturers often ship systems with secure boot mode set to standard, while corrupting key databases during major Windows updates. Teknobalta recommends switching the secure boot mode setting inside your BIOS from standard to custom, followed immediately by selecting Restore Factory Keys. After applying this change, switch the mode back from custom to standard, which forces the UEFI firmware to re-register the platform key (PK), key exchange key (KEK), and authorized database (DB) signatures required by EA Anti-Cheat. Fifth, ensure that the Compatibility Support Module (CSM) is completely disabled within your BIOS settings. CSM forces legacy BIOS emulation for backwards compatibility, which directly conflicts with UEFI secure boot mandates. Locate CSM configuration under the Boot or Advanced Settings tab, set Launch CSM or CSM support to disabled, and ensure UEFI boot control is selected for storage devices. Our sixth fix addresses trusted platform module integrity, specifically TPM2. Zero configuration. EA Sports FC 26 requires hardware-level security validation, which relies on active TPM2. Zero hardware or firmware TPM, fTPM/PTT. Inside your BIOS, navigate to the Computing Security or Peripherals tab, enable fTPM for AMD platforms or Intel PTT for Intel processors, and ensure the security device support is set to enabled. Seventh, Teknobalta's diagnostic testing showed that third-party antivirus software and background security agents often hook into kernel-level drivers, triggering EA Anti-Cheat secure boot flags. Temporarily disable or completely uninstall third-party security software such as Avast, Bitdefender, or Kaspersky, and rely on standard Windows Defender. Additionally, ensure Windows Defender core isolation and memory integrity are enabled under device security settings in Windows. 8th, corrupt EA anti-cheat service binaries frequently misinterpret valid UEFI states as non-compliant. Navigate to your EA Sports FC26 installation directory, open the installer/EA anti-cheat folder, and launch EA anti-cheat. Installer, exe with administrator privileges. Select EA Sports FC26 from the drop-down menu, click Uninstall All, wait for the operation to complete, and then select Install to clean deploy freshly signed anti-cheat services. 9th, running the EA app and the game Executable with elevated system permissions prevents permission-based secure boot validation blocks. Right-click the EA Desktop shortcut or EA Desktop. EXE, select Properties, navigate to the Compatibility tab, and check Run this program as an administrator. Perform the exact same step for FC26. EXE inside your main game installation folder to ensure full security token privilege inheritance. 10th, outdated motherboard BIOS firmware can prevent Windows 11 and EA anti-cheat from correctly querying secure boot certificates. Visit your motherboard manufacturer's official support portal, ASUS, MSI, Gigabyte, ASRock, and download the latest stable BIOS revision for your specific board model. Flash the updated BIOS file using the integrated QFlash, EZ-Flash, or M-Flash utility inside your UEFI interface, making sure to re-enable Secure Boot and fTPM after the firmware updates. 11th, Windows Test Mode, or Disable Driver Signature Enforcement Mode, will instantly cause EA anti-cheat to flag a secure boot error. To disable these developer overrides, open Command Prompt as administrator and execute bcdedit/set test signing off followed by bcdedit/set nointegritychecks off. Reboot your system to enforce standard Microsoft kernel driver verification mechanisms. 12th, Hypervisor Protected Code Integrity, HVCI, must be properly configured to work in tandem with Secure Boot. Search for core isolation in the Windows Start menu and toggle Memory Integrity to On. If Windows prevents you from enabling memory integrity due to incompatible drivers, click Review Incompatible Drivers, locate the third-party driver paths, and remove them using pnputil/delete driver OEM. inf/uninstall via command line. 13th, clearing the EA Desktop app cache removes stale authentication tokens and corrupted local anti-cheat certificates. Open the EA app, click the top left menu icon, 3 lines, navigate to Help, select App Recovery, and click Clear Cache. If the app fails to open, launch App Recovery. EXE directly from the C/program files /electronic arts /EA desktop /EA desktop directory. 14th, Windows System file corruption can disrupt the Windows Security Health Service, responsible for reporting secure boot state to applications. Run an elevated command, prompt, and execute sfc/scanno to verify and repair system files. Follow this immediately with DISM/online/cleanupimage/restore health to repair the local component store from official Windows Update servers. 15th, users with dual boot setups or Linux bootloaders, such as Grub installed alongside Windows, will encounter persistent secure boot errors with EA titles. Grub and non-Microsoft bootloaders modify the EFI system partition, which EA anti-cheat detects as a potential vulnerability. To resolve this, use a Windows installation media drive to rebuild your EFI boot partition using the commands bootrec/fixmber, bootrec/fixboot, and bcdbootc/Windows. 16th and finally, if all other troubleshooting steps fail, perform a clean reinstall of the EA app and EA Sports FC26 onto your primary OS drive. Installing anti-cheat protected games on secondary storage drives with modified NTFS security permissions can occasionally disrupt kernel driver verification. Ensure all Windows updates, including optional quality updates for system security certificates, are fully installed. By systematically working through these 16 steps verified by Teknobalta, your UEFI environment and EA anti-cheat service will be fully synchronized, completely resolving the secure boot error in EA Sports FC 26. Don't forget to follow Teknobalta for more.